I used to be very scared of women. I used to be very unsure of myself when it came to dealing with girls and women, especially in my late teens and my very early 20s. I put women on a pedestal, and when I look back now, I give myself so much grace because it wasn't my fault. I was a product of my environment. I was a product of my circumstance. I was raised from a very Christian family, Nigerian family, where sex is demonized. You don't talk about sex. How to date, we don't date. Dating is completely off the table. So you go into this world as a teenager with all these hormones in your body, and you've not been taught what to do with it. And usually, you take that and you add a layer of religion, right? What do you have? You have a cocktail of uncertainty, insecurity, confusion, which was me, right? And I was a mess, man. My late teens to my early 20s was a mess when it came to dating. Academically, I was fine because in my culture, in my family, academics has always been placed on a big pedestal. So I knew no matter what, do your best academically. But socially, I was inept. I did okay with socializing, but when it came to dating and navigating the dating world, I was a complete mess. I did not know how to express my romantic interest in a girl at the time in my late teens. Again, keep in mind this was between the ages of 16 to 23 thereabouts. Okay, I did not know how a girl fancied me, if she fancied me at all. I didn't know. I was just clueless. And when I look back, I think if I had my elder brother, who unfortunately passed later, I think he would have been my guide. These are the kind of things I couldn't bring to my father because he himself is very religious. And I mean, again, in the African context, you are not that close to your father, to your parents, in fairness. So that would have been my brother who unfortunately passed, so I had nobody else, right? And as a result of that, I had no clue when it came to dating. I would be pursuing girls that didn't like me. I did not even communicate my romantic interest clear enough to women that I liked and girls that I fancied. I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even know how to talk to her, right? I didn't even know how to express myself to the girl that I fancied. And that really affected my psyche. That really affected my psyche in the sense of because I was clueless with women and because I didn't know how to interpret if a girl liked me or not, or how to communicate how I liked a girl, it really messed up my psyche. It brought upon low self-esteem, to be very honest, anxiety, just awkwardness when it came to women and girls, right? I always felt like I was never good enough. As a result of this, I felt like I was not good enough. I was a nobody, quite frankly, because I would look to the left and I would look to the right and I would see other guys that were the same age as me, but they understood the game more than I did, and they were not willing to share whatever they learned with me, right? They didn't know. I don't know. It was weird. I think for some of them, the guys that were doing really well, they just didn't care if I was doing well or not, I guess, because if the more I struggled, the better they looked, I guess, because less competition. But the positive thing for me going through that phase and being in that phase was it really gave me the opportunity to observe. You understand? I think that is that's the benefit I can take from that experience. Just observing, seeing the true human nature on display, seeing true female nature on display. So I learned, okay? I would see how girls behaved for the guys they liked. I would also see how girls went out of their way to express their interest for the guys they liked, right? And I would see what they would do for the guys they didn't like. So I'm not saying my dating experience overall between the ages of 16 to 22, 23 was horrible. It could be better, but I've always had success with girls in general in terms of them feeling comfortable with me, romantically or otherwise. That's it, right? It's not a problem. Like even where I live right now, most of the people that come to me naturally are the girls. Not romantically, right? Just to hang out with me. You understand? So I think from observing, I noticed that the more you chase a woman, this was when I started learning, I noticed that the woman has to come to you as a man. I noticed that women pick the men. Okay? Remember, the title of this video is how I overcame my fear and anxiety with women. I noticed that women choose the men. Women pick the men. You can chase a woman all you want. You can text her all you want. You can do every single thing you want. If that woman is not attracted to you or she's not interested in you, nothing's going to happen. That was where I realized the first principle. Women pick the men. That's number one. I noticed from observing how women treated the men they liked was number two, right? Let's increase the camera. Number two, women are very aggressive and intentional for the guys they liked, right? They're very aggressive and very intentional for the guys they liked. Period. No matter how introverted she is, no matter how quiet or socially awkward she is, when a girl or woman likes you, she's going to make you know about it. It doesn't matter. And this is something that I learned as number two from this experience, right? And number three was the guys that chased the least usually was the guy that got her. You understand? So those are the three broad points that I picked up in this phase of me being very uncertain, insecure, unclear about women. Not that I didn't have success getting women to come to me from the ages of 16 to 23. It was just I didn't know what to do with it. I was so unclear because of my upbringing, right? But I learned these three principles. Number one, women pick the men. Number two, women are aggressive for the men they like. And number three, the guys that typically got the girl was the guy that chased the least. Those were the top three principles I observed. And after observing these things from that period of time, from the age of 24, 25, 26, I'm currently 29. I'm going to be 30 in a couple of weeks. I started applying those principles. I started observing those principles in my mid-20s more. And now I'm good. I have observed it. I know what to do. I know how to interpret female attention. And it has really saved me a lot of headache. I guess what I'm saying is how I overcame my fear of women, my misunderstanding of women was just those three principles. Especially in a romantic sense. Number one, women pick the men. Number two, women are aggressive for the men they like. And number three, right, the guys that chase the least typically get the women, get the girl. This is something that I've noticed even in my almost 30 years of living, right? Shoot your shot. Let her know you want her. And be very clear, be very intentional, be very clear in what you're saying, if that makes any sense. Because I feel like as men, this is also where we fall through, right? We are not clear with our intentions. If you like a girl, make sure she knows you like her. Make sure she knows you want her, right? Hey, I think you're beautiful. I'd like to take you out on a date. Something of that nature, bro. Let it out. I think you're beautiful. I think you're attractive. I like your style. I would like to get to know you more. Would you like to go on a date? Make it clear. If the answer is not a hell yes, take it as a no and move on with your life. This is something that I started practicing more. And as a result of observing those three principles that I picked up from observing women, how they did with the guys they liked, I also knew what to do with female attention that came to me, right? I knew the girl that just wanted my attention for nothing else, but I also knew the girl that really wanted to know me more. And I knew how to fulfill. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand something. No matter how many principles you know, no matter how many principles you observe, people still do not owe you their attention. People don't owe you their energy. You have to be the one to choose, to pick, to choose, to dissect, to interpret what's going on. It's important stuff, right? And that's something that I think a lot of guys also need to understand. How do you take this lady's energy and interpret it accordingly? Okay? That's very important in my opinion. And ever since I started doing that, I would say for the past 3 years, my experience with women has been pretty smooth. because I know better, right? I practice better. And it's also very important, if you want to get over your fear of women and misunderstanding of women, is you want to be very, very comfortable with rejection. You have to be very comfortable with not getting what you want. You have to be very comfortable with having some goddamn self-respect. Having some self-respect, because this is something that I have, this is something that has been tested in my own journey for many, many times, right? Because sometimes you might like a girl, she might like you back, but then she's doing something that certainly, that definitely crosses your morals or crosses your boundaries. And that's when you have to make a decision. Stay, or are you going to go? And that's going to be determined by your self-respect and your self-control. And how much lust do you have control over? Because if she's very attractive and you're sexually attracted to her, and she's being disrespectful to you, or she has done or said something that crosses your boundaries, what are you going to do? Are you going to stick around because she's got a fat ass, or she's got big titties, or because she's got a cute face, or are you going to walk away? And I know it's a difficult decision to make. I've been there. But at the end of the day, your morals come first, man. But again, that's up to you to decide. But that's how I got over my misunderstanding of women, my fear of women, is understanding those 3 principles. Number 1, women pick the men. Number 2, women are aggressive and intentional for the guys they like. And number three, right, the guys that chase the least is usually the guy that gets the girl. And I practiced that, and now I practice it as well. And I don't think over the past 2-3 years, I've just been head over heels over a girl that clearly doesn't have any interest in me. That's me, right? And I hope this gave you value. I hope this gives you perspective. And if you have any questions, let me see them in the comment section. Peace out.